Hello everybody. Next up we visit the Vacuum Cleaner Stadium for a 3 p.m. kickoff where our hosts will be Brentford. Gunnersbury Station will be closed to both District Line and Overground trains on Saturday, so if that's your usual chosen route, best seek alternative transport. So Brentford then. They've won 2 and lost 3 so far this season. They were perhaps slightly fortunate to beat Palace 2-1 on the opening day, ref Barrett, of whom more later, giving a free kick too soon for a foul that didn't exist to deny Palace a goal. They then lost 2-0 to the 12 men of Liverpool before returning to winning ways against Southampton, defeating them 3-1 at home. Their next 2 were away defeats at Manchester City 2-1 and at Spurs 3-1, all of which has left them in 12th place with 6 points, which is 2 points and 2 places above us. With Ivan Toney always likely to leave, they set about recruitment well in advance. Daisy informs me that the signing of Igor Thiago from Club Brugge was announced many months ago, though the deal only became official on 1st of July, £30 million being the consensus for the value of the so-called undisclosed fee paid by the Bees. Whereupon Thiago put in a bid for the title of season's unluckiest player, picking up a serious knee injury on his pre-season debut that will keep him out until the new year, if not until next season. They spent £27.5 million to bring Fabio Carvalho back to West London from Liverpool. The former Fulham winger spent most of last season away from Liverpool on loan, firstly at Fizzy Drinks Leipzig and then at Hull. There won't be too many players with that combination on their CV. Although Portuguese by birth, he grew up in South London when his parents moved to the UK when he was 11. His youth CV therefore contains a spell at Benfica, followed by a spell at Balham FC, a combination even more unlikely than the aforementioned Leipzig-Hull connection. The Scousers did well out of Brentford this summer. They spent a further £20 million on bringing defender Sepp van den Berg down to more civilised climes. Van den Berg, who may or may not be related to the people who used to make stalk margarine over in Purfleet, found his first team opportunities up there limited, the occasional cup game being about the measure of it, and he failed to make a single league appearance there in his 4 seasons at Anfield. Much of those 4 years was spent out on loan at places like Preston, Schalke and Mainz. He has Dutch caps at both under-18 and under-21 level, but has yet to make the full Netherlands side. The second Brazilian to arrive was Gustavo Nunes. The £10 million signing from Brazilian Serie A side Grêmio has yet to make his first team debut for the Bees, and at the age of 18 is likely to appear more for whatever they have in place as a youth system over there these days, though a current back injury will preclude his appearing even at that level. They will have a number of key players out of action this weekend in addition to Thiago and Nunes. Most prominent amongst these is striker Yohan Wissa, whose 3 goals in 4 this season might have seen him feature in the Danger Man section this week. However, an ankle injury will keep him sidelined at least until the end of November. They do have better news, however, about skipper Christian Norgard. Whilst a fitness test will be required, he is rated as 75% likely to be available. Shall we move on then to the wild and wacky world of association football? Yeah, okay then. And the news from Merseyside is the on-off, repeat ad nauseum sale of Everton took a new twist this week. The Freaking Group has returned to the presumably heavily discounted table. Elsewhere, the lousy weather we're having saw AFC Wimbledon's ground develop a massive sinkhole at one end, prompting Liverpool to announce in a statement that nobody believed that they too have weather-related unstable patches on their ground, prompting their players to stumble and in no way dive. And so to us and the last couple of damned awful matches then. Firstly, Chelsea. Well, we were simply awful. There was no leadership, no creativity, no defence, nothing. We got what we deserved. Of course, no performance, no game is so bad that PGMOL can't make it worse. And this was certainly the case here. At 2-0 down, rookie ref Barrett, who is currently sitting on statistics suggesting that the number of match-affecting basic errors he's made is greater than the number of matches he's officiated in, failed to give a fairly obvious penalty. Any doubt that it might have been a penalty was firmly dispelled when Stuart Atwell, no stranger to the realms of refereeing lunacy, had his VAR reasoning published in the big screen. You see, there was a holding offence, but Atwell didn't think it had been sustained for long enough. Now have a look at Law 12, brackets, fouls and misconduct, close brackets, and see if the word sustained appears anywhere. I'll save you the bother, it's not there. So what we have now is a situation where if a referee makes an error with the laws of the game, his mate will rewrite the laws of the game to cover his backside, in the hope that nobody notices. Only we did notice Atwell. Another fraudulent act from someone who should have been out of a job many years ago. Then there was Wednesday. I thought our performance up at Anfield was perhaps better. But there again, you always know you need referees to do a proper job to have any chance up there at what is arguably the most corrupt stadium in the country. 3 penalties denied and an offside visible to the naked eye from the moon tells you all you need to know. If you have any doubts, just ask yourself this question. If any of those decisions had been at the other end of the pitch, would they have been given? We all know the answer to that. As Lopetegui said, it's not the first time that we've had issues at this stadium. Still, the absence of VAR meant that PGMOL's lies department didn't have to make up any new and unusual laws of the game in order to come up with excuses for its members. We could all see for ourselves that it was simply a matter of Madley, like so many other officials at Anfield, turning up with all the backbone of an anaesthetised jellyfish. The whole match was set up to favour the hosts right from the rigged draw that guaranteed them a home tie. Now, I appreciate something had to be done to keep the European teams apart to avoid clashing with the Euro fixture dates. However, there was a very simple way of dealing with that, and that was simply put the Euro teams into a separate pot and an unnumbered ball in the main pot. When that ball comes out, pick a ball out of the Euro pot. That way, each of the Euro teams would end up with an equal chance of being drawn at home or away. The bizarre system employed meant that Liverpool ended up being guaranteed a home tie, which, given PGMOL's ban on neutral refereeing at Anfield, was tantamount to handing them a bye. On to this weekend, and Fulgroup, who was said to be close to a return in midweek, will instead miss out this weekend. Alvarez will also be missing due to his suspension. Other than that, it's a full squad we have to pick from. Antonio made a pleasing nuisance of himself on Wednesday and may have played his way back into the manager's affections. This game will go one of two ways. The players could simply mope about over the injustices of the past couple of games, or they could use them to motivate themselves to get off their backsides and actually do something about the position they find themselves in. I will admit I'm not very confident that that will happen, but I'm going to base my prediction on that basis nevertheless. So, more in hope than expectation, I shall be placing the £2 that I was going to send to PGMOL as a bribe for their official. I wouldn't want any favourable treatment, just for them to do their job. We'll instead be going on an away win. Mr. Winson, can we make it 2-1 to us, please? Enjoy the game.